Hello, and welcome to the end of a month and the beginning of a new month, which means that it's time for a manga log. Yes, September has ended, and it was a pretty productive month for the most part. Like, for instance, during September, I got a year older. Your boy's getting closer and closer to 30. Also, I finally got a new car after my old one got hit by a semi. So, yay. And then also bought a PS5 and got God of War Ragnarok and Armored Core 6. So, having a fun time playing those. But the other thing I did was read some manga. Yes, some manga. Because this, as I said, or if I haven't said, this is a manga log. And, you're here for me to tell you about what I read so that you might get some recommendations as well as me get some recommendations. That made sense. So, let's get on to it. So, the numbers are the first ones up, and we are a little bit better than August, because August we only read 28, but in September we read 33 volumes, 0 comics, and finished 1 series. So, a little bit more than August, but a little bit less than usual by 2. After I got God of War Ragnarok and my PS5, I've been just playing that. So, really cut back on the amount of games that I played. Not games. Reading that I did. There we go. Didn't cut back on the amount of games I played. And then, there's several other things that I got, and yeah. So, all in all, pretty good month. Hopefully, October's as good as well, but I have to start paying back my student loans, here, though I keep on trying to call them to defer it, but, maybe they'll answer one day. Probably not. But let's ignore those student loans for a little bit and talk about manga, specifically what I finished in the month of September. Alright, on to the one series that I finished, which is only a 4-volume series, and I feel like it dropped the ball a little bit near the end, but could have definitely have gone on a little bit longer, and, at the end they're like, we could do it a little bit longer, do some more, but yeah, for what it left off, I feel like it succeeded for the most part in telling the story, and that is Gunburned Sisters, which is a Yuri, a little bit more adult. That this is wrapped in plastic, so I can't really, show you any of the art, but needless to say, it was a pretty interesting one. Vampires, demi-humans, and all that, and the church killing them, and then finding out the true enemy all along. But yeah, and then these two finally realize that they're perfect for each other, and then go fight Mary's sister, who was, part of this all along. So, all in all, pretty good series for the most part. Nothing too crazy. 4 volumes, going for $13.99. I will say that it does have the mature rating on it. That as well as the parental advisory sticker. Well, not sticker, but you know what I mean. So, yeah. I can't show you any of it because, TNA. There we go. So, yeah. All in all, pretty good. Really short, and that was the only manga that I finished. And then I started reading a lot more, I realized after, counting everything out. So, let's get on to the larger section, which is what I started in September. Alright, on to the stuff that I started in the month of September. There are 7 series, and, ranging from normal-ish, weird-ish, Yuri-ish, gay-ish stuff, and some heartwarming, some action, just the usual stuff that I read, which is whatever. So, on to the first series that I started, the one that has a very long name, but I had seen clips of the anime, and then I saw this, and I immediately picked it up because I was interested in it, and that is apparently Disillusioned adventurers will save the world. The ultimate party is born. So this one is essentially the group of really, really down on their luck adventurers. So, Nick, who's right there, let's just go through all the shitty things that has happened to this party. Nick right there, he is working for this one adventuring group, and then one of the teammates embezzles, and then his person that raised him and looked up to him then eventually just was like, no, you're gone from the party. And then also it turns out his girlfriend didn't actually love him, and then also was cheating on him, and just mostly to get, shit. So he then gets into idols and is crying himself just with a drink in hand, and meets the other people that will eventually form the ultimate party, and they lay some groundwork and try to, be better. And each of the other 3 people in the group have not great, some a little bit more than others, but for the most part, all of them have been wronged in one way or another. And yeah, they come together with their grievances and are essentially learning to trust one another. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. Obviously, by the title, they're going to be saving the world, but I want to know how they get there, and how each of their strengths play in with one another, as well as them overcoming those stopgaps that have formed because of their betrayals that happened to them. So all in all, pretty good. So from there, we have one that's a little bit more spicy, and a Yuri. And, again, I can't show you anything on the inside because, it was wrapped in plastic. But we're going to read it. By read it, I mean read the title. I've already read this volume. But does it count if you lose your virginity to an android? So, it's exactly what it says on the tin. Essentially, there is Suba Anake is a robotics engineer, and then drunkenly one night she orders a sex robot, yes, who she meant to buy a maid robot, but she was drunk. And essentially this robot loves her, and she's really confused about what's happening because she's just like, I didn't mean to. Also, it's illegal to own a android for sexual favors and all that. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting at points, pretty funny at points, and, they, I think, will learn to love each other by just her will learn to love her. So, yeah, that's it. It's like, it's not that deep, So, on to one that's another Yuri, but one that's a little bit more interesting. I've read a lot of Yuri this month, and that is, she loves to cook and she loves to eat. Again, it's written on the tin. So, Namato, this lovely lady, she likes cooking, but she likes cooking big, giant meals. But unfortunately, she's alone and only cooks for herself until she meets her neighbor, who is Kasagagi, I think is how you pronounce it, who fucking eats a lot. And, they grow as a pair of friends to, just as they get closer with the more food that she eats and the more food that she cooks. And it's kind of adorable, and also has that same situations where a lot of Yuri, as well as I'm pretty sure a lot of yaoi, where they're like, why aren't you getting with this person, instead of realizing people are complex and aren't all straight. So really lovely, adorable, and I would love to read more of this. I don't know if any more are out right now, but if they are, I will read them because these two are cute and they are perfect for each other. So, yeah. All right. On to the next one, which is also Yuri. I read a few, so. And this one is There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless. And essentially this one is Amori Runako, this lovely lady, was pretty lonely and a loner and very introverted in middle school, and in high school she vows to be more extroverted and more outgoing. Granted, if you're an introvert, doing that is very tiring. So one day she goes up to the roof to relax when the princess of the school, who is Adoko Mai, she essentially mistakes her for jumping off the roof. They accidentally fall off the roof but survive, but they confide in each other, their different hang-ups and all that, and become best friends until the next day that Mai confesses her love for Renko. So she's like, wait, what? No, we're friends. I don't feel like that for you. And she's like, is it because I'm a girl? And she's like, no, it's just, I just wanted a friend. And she's like, okay, let's do this. And essentially, one half the time they're friends and the other half the time they're girlfriends, and each other is trying to make it the other think that the other option is better. But I feel like it will eventually lead to Mai coming out on top. It just feels like that. That's how it usually goes. So yeah, there are 3 volumes out for this so far. I bought the 3rd one just yesterday as of recording this video. So yeah, really cute, really adorable, and I hope for the best for them. All right, on to one that isn't a Yuri, and that is one that I think I just got it because of the cover, as well as the art style reminded me of another manga that I read, and that is The Witch and the Night Will Survive. And the art style that it reminded me of, one second, is The Wolf Never Sleeps. And I was thinking about if it was the same artist, and yeah, it is the same artist. So if you liked The Wolf Never Sleeps art style, then you'll like The Witch and the Night Will Survive. So let me just put this away real quick. I'm still in frame. You can't take me away. Okay, so on to what is actually going on in this story. But again, if you like the art in that one, you'll like the art in this one. So this young man is, oh fuck, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Agridios. He is the son of a local landowner, and he goes out hunting one day for food for his family, and then comes back to the village and everyone's fucking dead. Yeah, he does find eventually 2 other young girls that were far away enough from the village to, save, but he eventually goes to the forest again because he heard that there's a witch in the woods, and he starts attacking. Turns out the witch didn't do that. It's just like a curse on the entire forest itself. And so the witch and the knight essentially start working together. Her name, who is, let me one second, it's at the very end, Sita work together and essentially try to get the village back together, as well as his sister coming back, who is, can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she comes back with more people, and it's essentially just trying to figure out a good way to survive, as well as I'm pretty sure there's sort of like the Inquisition is coming, but they don't know that just yet. I know it's the church. So yeah, all in all, pretty good. The art style is fucking fantastic. Look at that, look at this. It's really, really fucking awesome. I wish that more art was like that, a little bit more detailed, but all in all, really great. would recommend. Don't know how many volumes are going to be in this series. The last one was only 3, but this is a different writer than the Wolf Never Sleeps. So, all in all, pretty good. Alright, on to one that I know only has 2 volumes, because I think, if I remember correctly, I bought the second one, but I still don't know how to pronounce this, and I will mess it up, but it is called Tista? I don't know how to pronounce. But this is a 2-volume series that is made from the creator of Spy Family. And it was, if I remember correctly, her first serial work. So, 2 volumes. Base synopsis is that there's this girl that is contracted by the church to do assassinations that help the city of New York. Yeah, the city of New York out. And is an interesting sort of psychological kind of thriller at points, as well as the looking into Trista's like mental state as she has to do more and more of these things and just trying to be a better person. So yeah, I can't really explain more because there's only 2 volumes. It's really short, but you know, it's good to see where a mangaka started, and you know, Spy Family is like one of the largest ones right now, and this one's pretty good. And that was my phone. So anyways, so 2 volumes, $9.99 each right now. So yeah, okay, on to the last new series that I started, one that I just thought, why not? And that is Love's in Sight. So this is the story of Moro Kurosaki Kurokawa. There we go, got it right. He is sort of like a delinquent, and he has a scar on his face, and a lot of people just judge him based off of that, and you know, he's just like, fuck it, I'll be that guy. And then he eventually runs into Yukiko Azaki, who is someone that is, I would guess, technically called legally blind. She's not fully blind where it's just black. She's able to discern colors at points, as well as shades, shapes, but it's all blurry, and it's to the point where she really can't see without a cane and has to walk around. They eventually meet and, you know, start falling in love, because she doesn't care what his face looks like, and you know, he loves that and wants to help her out and be there to just help and be happy together. It's very cute, and you know, it's one of those tropes of the delinquent falling in love and the you know, him being reformed. So yeah, it's really cute, really adorable. I think there's 3 volumes out right now, and I think I have volume 2 right now, and I will eventually get volume 3. But yeah, really cute, really adorable. I love it. So that was the new series that I started in the month of September. So yep, look at that. Look at that fat chunk. I really do try not to start more series, but I just, like, if I see something that is interesting to me, I just grab it and start reading it. Even if I have like so many unfinished ones, I just like reading new stories and seeing how it's like told, and how a different author or mangaka or comic artist will tell a story that's similar but in a different sort of way. But that's my problem. I am going to end the video. Alright, that was the end. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you had a lovely September. It is finally fucking cooling down. It is, it's been so long. I am happy about that. I get to wear hoodies. Granted, next week is going to be a little bit warmer, but after that, I'm pretty sure it's going to be nice and chilly, and I can finally wear my sweater, see my hat. But yeah, so stay inside, be safe. But yeah, If you want to see more of this bearded face, think about hitting the subscribe button. If you want to recommend some more stuff, put it down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, think about hitting the like button. You know, usually I do it the other way, but whatever. So, stay safe out there. Stay warm. If it is cool in your area, stay cool if it is hot in your area. And stay frosty or spicy. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, hopefully you all had a lovely September, and hopefully you can survive the spoops in October. I was about to say September again. Anyways, before I ramble on even more, I'll just say goodbye.